Ladies and gentlemen, the first of the stallions to come forward today is the first of two new stallions at Kelvinside. Good thing about it too, what I love about this is good types turning into good racehorses.
He was a really good racehorse. Chris Waller, as you know, is a very patient trainer. He left him alone at 2, brought him out as an early 3-year-old. He won his first start, and 2 starts later, he won the Carbine Club Stakes at Flemington. He won the Doncaster like a really good horse, and in his third run back in the spring, won another great mile at Randwick, this time at weight for age.
Teofilo, here's the next horse that we move to, and what an impact he's made, so much so that you brought him back after a 2-year absence.
Absolutely, and the last horse did that for was Street Cry. Thanks to Kermadec and others, he does return this year by popular demand. He was the standout 2-year-old of his year. They talked about him in terms of Nijinsky. They thought he might be the next Nijinsky. Unfortunately, injury curtailed his career. He didn't race on at 3.
He's had 22 group winners, which is 9%. That puts him in the highest level.
He's right up with the very best stallions in the world.
Well, the next stallion, ladies and gentlemen, if ever there's a parade that works for a horse, it is this one, and that is Poet's Voice, the son of Dubawi. He's a horse that every year breeders come to you at the end of the parades that I want to send a mare to him.
He is, of course, a son of the sire phenomenon, Dubawi.
I think he's the smoky of the team, ladies and gentlemen. He's had the 5 individual 2-year-old winners, including the former Magic Millions, or the horse that went through the Magic Millions in my country, the stakes winner, so plenty of upside with the sire. And what a fee, what an opportunity, 11,000.
And this is Sidestep.
He's the champion 2-year-old of his year. We tend to forget that to some extent, but that was off the back of some outstanding 2-year-old performances. His performances on the track weren't lost by the breeders, and of course covered 134 mares in his first season.
We were delighted with the impact he made here last year. Covered 134 mares. He got a really good book, and many of the country's leading breeders bred to him.
Hallowed Crown coming forward. He was unbeaten as a 2-year-old, but it was as a 3-year-old that he really made his mark. He was the best 3-year-old miler of his generation.
He beat all the best horses. He beat all the good milers. They all went on to win Group 1 races. They franked his form. He's really good value. He's been really well accepted. He's got some lovely first foals on the ground, and we're really looking forward to the rest of the year for him.
The son of Lonhro and Denman coming forward. What an outstanding racehorse he was. You know that he won 9 of his 12 start. He was almost unbeatable up to 1,400 metres, 7 furlongs.
He was the superstar 3-year-old of his generation, really. He won the Golden Rose, Group 1, the Stanfox Stakes, Group 2, the Durban Stakes, Group 2 in Melbourne. He was a real racehorse. Been the most popular stallion at this farm for not last year, but the year before that and the year before that. This is Dawn Approach, ladies and gentlemen.
Outstanding as a 2-year-old. 6 from 6, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get better than that. He was unbelievable. He won the Grade 2 Coventry at Royal Ascot. He went on and won the Grade 1 National Stakes. He then went on and won the Grade 1 Dewhurst. I mean, that's just exceptional form as a 2-year-old.
He was an elite horse. Now, we talk about Frankel, and everyone's watching how well Frankel's doing at stud. This horse won 3 of the same races that Frankel won. The Dewhurst Stakes, best race for 2-year-olds in England, the 2,000 guineas stallion making race, and the St James's Palace Stakes at the Royal Ascot meeting, one of the best mile races for 3-year-olds in the world. He won all 3 of those races on similar going in faster time than Frankel.
Next sire to come forward is Albrecht. Had 1 start as a 2-year-old, he won that, but it was as a 3-year-old when he came out and won the Up and Coming. What a race that is, the Up and Coming, with the horses that have come through it. He's by the champion's son, Reduced Choice, and he's out of a full sister to the very own Lonhro.
He's got it on both sides of his pedigree, by the champion sire, out of a full sister to a champion sire. He's certainly bred to be a leading stallion. We've got 3 very nice yearlings over at Woodlands. Most notable pedigree-wise is a half-sister to Holler, one of our top sprinters. She's a lovely filly. I saw her just the other day. She's very like her father. He does stamp his stock.
We like this one. Talking to my man, Barry Bowditch, Magic Millions. He's been round looking at the yearlings. This is the one. Epaulette, he's saying this is the one. Epaulette, best son of the great commands.
No one beat Black Caviar, including Epaulette, but he did run second to her, and he beat all the best of the other sprinters in the TJ Smith, Buffering, Sea Siren, Spirit of Boom, Your Song.
That was the race, wasn't it? The Group 1 Doomben 10,000 as a late 3-year-old, where he really made his mark against the big Group 1 sprinters.
He showed such acceleration through the field that day. He was really impressive.
Shooting to Win. The son of Northern Meteor. Gee, was impressive last year.
He's the golden boy, isn't he? The overwhelming favourite here from the parade last year. Just look at his forearm, his strength, the length of his hip. He's every commercial breeder's dream stallion. Cherry Taylor reports she's got a terrific filly by him. Mick Talty, who actually foaled shooting to win, had the first one in Australia. I've seen that filly. She's a really good filly, very much in his mould. Very exciting foals.
Light on his feet. Just wants to get on and run. Exceed and excel. He stands for a fee of 110,000. He is the go-to sire if you're looking to establish your broodmare. We saw that with Black Caviar. He is the sire everybody wants to go to with their young broodmare off the track. That's 1,000 winners he's left.
That's a lot of winners. 115 stakes winners all up, and that puts him in an elite club, the 100 club stakes winners for stallions. He's getting better and better at the sales. His record at the sales this year was his best ever. $300,000 average.
The next horse to come forward is Sepoy, ladies and gentlemen. He was an outstanding racehorse. He's had 6 individual 2-year-old winners, 3 of them at stakes level, ladies and gentlemen. But can I say, I think the future is ahead of him. Outstanding racehorse, and there's some big numbers to come.
He's always covered big books. He's covered big books of quality mares, and I think the future is still very much ahead for Sepoy.
Medaglia d'Oro, what an impact he made and has made in his brief time down here. 3 seasons of racing age.
3 crops to race.
3 crops.
Made a real impact. He's had 92 stakes winners now. He's approaching that 100 club. Last year that number was 76. The year before that it was 57. So 16 new stakes winners last year, 19 the year before that. He's just a machine at producing stakes winners. He's the new kid on the block this year, the first year horse that everyone wants to go to this season around Australia.
Exosphere.
The Skyline Stakes really put him in the slipper picture. I think he started second favourite. He was highly fancied, but he pulled up with heart arrhythmia. You had to spell obviously after that. He was put up on a Golden Rose preparation in the early spring. He won the lead up, the run to the Rose, beating Press Statement, who was already a Group 1 winner, and Holler, who had become one. And then he really showed his dominance in the first Group 1 for the season in Sydney for the 3-year-olds, the Golden Rose.
So this is, ladies and gentlemen, Lonhro.
Here he is, one of Australia's great racehorses.
I think we should remind him just what he did. He won 26 races, 11 at Group 1 level. That's just remarkable.
He was the superstar racehorse of his time. He was the Black Caviar of his time. He was the Winx of his time. He was an amazing racehorse. He just keeps producing top horses. The only secret we've got is we keep using him.
Stake earnings of his progeny of some $73 million.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got 7 stallions to parade for you today, and the first of those is Reset. He's also by the champion Siren Zabeel. He's also out of a wonderful Group 1 winning mare in Assertive Lass. So the reality is it's little wonder with his race record and his pedigree that he is in fact a stallion of highest quality.
And if you think of the big days on the Victorian calendar, Caulfield Cup Day, Cox Plate Day, Derby Day, Oaks Day, they're the days we all want to have a runner. Reset gets you there on those days and he hits the board in the big races.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's also probably worth noting that he's held in such high regard by the Darley Godolphin operation that the champion, the Group 1 winner in Guelph, is in fact booked to go to Reset in the year 2016. So I think that's testimony of the way that Darley Godolphin do respect this stallion. Ladies and gentlemen, the horse coming into the ring now is Kuroshio. He was a stakes winner on debut.
He was runner-up in the Blue Diamond preview to Dissident. He then turned the tables on that subsequent multiple Group 1 winner in the Prelude.
Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, he was a top-notch 2-year-old, but his probably defining moment, Andy, came at 3 in the Group 2 weight for age McEwen Stakes over 1,000 metres at Moonee Valley, where he came from a pretty wide gate and was simply just too fast and too brilliant for some outstanding Group 1 winners.
Kuroshio, speed pedigree, brilliant race record, handsome, fast, a good colour, precocious. They're the reasons we just had to stand him.
To a stallion who's really making a name for himself already, and from one very handsome horse to another. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Skilled, a Group 1 winning juvenile, and so close in fact to being a triple Group 1 winner.
Yeah, he won the Champagne Stakes, was beaten a nose in the Sires and a head in the Randwick Guineas. So, as you say, very close to a Triple Group 1 winning colt. He's had 5 winners from 11 runners, which gives him the highest leading percentage runners to winners for any first crop stallion this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the stallions that I have no doubt you've been eagerly awaiting the arrival of, and this is Night of Thunder.
He's good-looking, quality, multiple Group 1 winning son of the sire phenomenon Debawi. And Debawi's sons are succeeding at stud, so Debawi is a sire of sires. Night of Thunder was an undefeated stakes-winning 2-year-old and won both his 2-year-old races by a combined 9 lengths. At only his 4th start, he won the stallion-making English 2000 Guineas. The Guineas rated by Timeform as the best since 1971, the best Guineas in over 40 years.
Here is another star to look at. Here is Brazen Beau.
He was the headline actor as a first season horse here last year, and I assure you he's just as popular and sought after in year 2. We're looking at an outstanding racehorse, the best performed Australian colt of his generation. A Group 2 winner at 2, a multiple Group 1 winner at 3. And what about the company he kept? He beat the likes of Chautauqua, Lankan Rupee, Terra Vista, Earthquake, Hallowed Crown, Hampton Court, Deep Field, Rich Enough, Rubik. The list goes on. Here is a Triple Group 1 winning son of Exceed and Excel with a massive pedigree, a first crop stakes winner, and he stands at 15,000. I suspect we'll look back at some stage and say, geez, that was great value.
Helmet, ladies and gentlemen, a multiple Group 1 winning 2-year-old winning both the Sires and the Champagne Stakes. And then, of course, as a 3-year-old, a 3rd Group 1 in the Caulfield Guineas. I think we all remember seeing him, that outstanding front-running display at Caulfield. Now that we get into important spring racing, the progeny by Helmet seem to be finding their way to the top.
And I think we're all very much looking forward to seeing them this season as 3-year-olds.
And the final of the Stallions for Parade here at Darley Godolphin this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, is Street Boss.
He's widely acclaimed as the best-looking son of the great Street Cry, and he was certainly the fastest. And for me, we may well be looking at the heir apparent to Street Cry. In Australia, Street Boss is the sire of the Group 1 Newmarket Handicap winner, the Quarterback, as well as group-winning sprinters Petit Falou, Scarlet Billows, Thiamundi, and last season's Group 3 winning 2-year-old Triz. In Australia, he's had only 3 crops of racing age, and if we analyse the 2 older crops, he's had 78 runners for 54 winners, and a third of those winners have earned over $100,000 in prize money.